Let's get a quick take on a bipartisan proposal at the state legislature that will require students to pass a civics test in order to graduate from high school. The exam would pull content from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services test given to people who want to become naturalized citizens. Patty Calhoun from Westward, would dropout rates plummet, or would dropout rates raise incredibly if we pass this law?
Well, first we should give it to our legislators, and I would think that we would have several open seats in the legislature if that happened. They would not all pass it. We are changing standards, and we're going to have a social studies test that the Department of Education is putting on these students next year. It's a really nice idea in theory, but I think really if they pass their courses, they should be able to graduate.
David Copeland from the Independence Institute and DU Law School. What do you think of the proposal? I mean, imagine some people already assume that students are graduating with some sort of sense of civics, but possibly not.
You would think so, because of course they're required to take American history in high school and typically also in junior high or middle school. But as Patty said, it ought to be in the curriculum anyway. I think this will help realign the American history curriculum and also classes like government, say you might take in 9th grade, with actual civics standards. Clearly the civics knowledge in this country, including in some legislators, is very low. The two leading Democratic candidates for president and the leading Republican, both are running as if the presidency of the United States is an elective dictatorship, where they can just like do anything they want by so-called executive orders. That's not our constitutional system. Our new citizens know that. The natural-born ones ought to know that as well.
Ben Gilt, a political strategist and consultant, is it up to schools maybe to kind of update the idea of civics? They need to come out with, like, you know, what would the Supreme Court Snapchat about? What do you think?
Supreme Court Snapchat, that's an interesting thought. You know, I think that the idea is fine. Certainly there is a deficiency in, I think, civic knowledge, and the entire civic debate in our country has gone downhill. So it's a nice idea. I think in implementation it might be a good idea with bad outcomes.
And freelance journalist Lisa Kennedy joins us. If new citizens have to learn this stuff, shouldn't our students?
Yes, I do think they should. And I think one of the things that's interesting is that it would actually create, if not a bond, an awareness of what new citizens are learning. I mean, and sort of creating an interesting way in which to say people who want to be here, who are coming here, have to know this. Shouldn't you? And that sort of to create a bond between those two. I think that would be interesting. I do think that the implementation issue is probably not unreasonable, but I like the idea that they may have to sort of know what other people who are just coming here have to know. And I sort of looked at the test and I did fairly well. And I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. You know, it's just a way to bone up on stuff, I think.